Hey guys, you're watching That Tattoo Chick. I kind of wanted to address this in a video because, quite frankly, it's something that unnerves me and angers me a little bit. There was a guy, I can't remember what his name was, not that I would give it out anyway, but he claimed that Wicca was not a legitimate religion because it came about in the 1950s. And therefore it was not a legitimate form of paganism and should not be considered such. Now, I have to disagree with this. Obviously, I mean, I'm a Wiccan, so I would disagree with it. But it angers me that because our faith is a fairly new religion, that it would not be considered a real religion. Let me break it to you down this way. All religions were new at one point or another. They all started sometime. They all began somewhere. And to say that it's not a legitimate faith because it's one that was recently, established is a crock of bullshit. And another thing that pisses me off is the fact that there are we're not only getting this from people who aren't Wiccan, but we're also getting this from people who are Wiccan, saying that other branches of Wicca are not true Wicca because they're not that branch. And honestly, isn't that part of what we were trying to get away from to begin with, is this whole bullshit of this is the right way and this is the wrong way, and if you don't follow this way, you won't get into heaven or whatever. Maybe you guys can help me understand this, but as far as I'm concerned, anyone that follows the Wiccan Rede and ye harm none, do as ye will, anyone that lives their lives in harmony with nature, and anyone who practices witchcraft under the name of Wicca and recognizes a god and a goddess and a spirit, it doesn't matter if they're solitary or if they were initiated into a coven, they are Wiccan. If they believe in all the tenets that we follow, they are Wiccan. And it doesn't matter what branch of Wicca they come from. It doesn't matter whose grand poobah initiated whoever, and therefore they're more legitimate because they were a 13th degree fucking blue-robed whatever. I don't give a shit. Quite frankly, honestly, in my opinion, if you find enlightenment in whatever path you're following, who is to say that you are right or wrong? And this goes for Wiccans as well as Christians and Muslims and Jews and Buddhists or whatever, anybody. If you find enlightenment in what you're following, who's to knock it? That's your path, and who's to say that it's not legitimate, because that's just ignorant to me, saying that something is not a legitimate system of belief or a legitimate religion because it's not what you follow. Quite frankly, that's disrespectful, and I consider it to be extremely ignorant. So maybe you guys can help me understand what the big deal is with being initiated into the Gardnerian tradition or the Alexandrian tradition or the Dianic tradition. Me, quite frankly, my goddess is Diana. I do not call myself a Dianic Wiccan, even though I am a full supporter of the feminist movement. I consider myself to be a feminist, which is a stereotype, but I'm gay. I will not label myself a Dianic Wiccan because there are some things that I disagree with in that tradition. But my goddess is Diana, and she is the goddess that I look to. She's the goddess I pray to. She's the goddess I worship. Are you guys going to sit here and tell me that I'm not a real Wiccan because I'm not initiated and blah, 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 or what? I belong to a church. Yes, I do. But I'm not going to knock anybody that's solitary either. And the reason I'm not going to knock anybody that's solitary is because I was solitary for about 7 years before I actually came to my church. And I don't believe that what I practiced before was any less legitimate than what I have learned and practice now. I believe that being in a church has helped me personally, but I can understand why somebody would want to be solitary. And partly it's because of this kind of bullshit. Somebody saying that someone is better than somebody else, or that one way is the right way and one way is the wrong way, and all of the petty bullshit drama that comes with the politics of being involved in a group. This is what I was trying to get away from in Christianity. I was a practicing Christian at one time. But I stand by what I believed when I was a Christian. And that is, it doesn't matter what branch of Wicca you are following. If you find enlightenment in it and you are earnest in what you're doing and you practice it with an open heart and an open mind and you don't harm people, it doesn't matter. You'll find enlightenment. You'll find your access to deity. That's part of what drew me to Wicca. It's such an open faith, and you can draw from so many different resources, and you're less likely to be knocked down or judged. Now, I'm not saying that all Wiccans do this to each other. I'm just saying that in some of the comments that I read in response to this guy's comment, and just some of the stuff that I've seen come out of other Wiccans' mouths towards other Wiccans has been just as bad as one branch of Christianity telling the other branch that they're going to hell and they're not going to heaven because they don't follow the first branch. You see what I'm saying? I guess I just don't understand. I quite frankly don't believe that you have to have somebody to show you the right or wrong way, or that you have to be initiated to be a real Wiccan or whatever. I believe that if the intent is in your heart and you follow, the beliefs and practices of Wicca to the best of your ability, that you're a Wiccan. And it doesn't matter if you choose to label it one way or another, or you belong to this branch or that branch. It doesn't matter to me. Personally, I think that it's all, individual stylized paths to deity. And who's to knock it? Certainly none of us are. Nobody out there, not that douchebag that was like, Wicca's not a legitimate religion because blah, 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 blah. If you find enlightenment in it, then it's all good. Just saying. Anyway, that's my rant. I'm pretty sure I've pissed a lot of people off with this. Don't really care. But many blessings. See ya.